but the map here just showing that it's quite well distributed from the northwest all the way through Alberta. May is a unique season in Alberta. Interestingly, May accounts for 23% of the total number of wildfires, but about 45% of the total area burned. That's a pretty key number. May is a busy month, always has been a busy month, as you can see. We've had fires in the past before, but of note, we're getting bigger fires. And I've listed there the top 8 years of the highest area burned during the month of May. So 2011 was the Slave Lake fire. We had 211 fires. The May 14 to May 15 period in the Lesser Slave area, 53 new fires. And of note, most of them, almost all of them, were human-caused fires. And typically what happens is we get these surges, and this is what really kills an organization when you get surges. And I'm really interested, some of the research that I'm looking at is are there signals or mini surges? Are these little mini heart attacks? Or are there mini signals that we can pick up earlier, not just in May, but earlier to help us get a better understanding? But this was May was a pretty significant event. In terms of the damage to the community. Fort McMurray was 10% of the city. Slave Lake, though, fewer structures lost, but a bigger impact on the community in terms of the percentage, about a third of the community. So then along came the Fort McMurray fire, May 1st, the Horse River fire. I wanted to show a video, but I was a bit scared that it wouldn't work. Some of you have seen this video. This is a video of evacuating out of Beacon Hill, and there's a motorcyclist, and he's got a little skull helmet, and everyone's behaving, but he's getting concerned. The flames are getting high, and he moves over to his left and looking carefully again at the what's happening. But the radiation was just too much for him, and he couldn't stay there. He literally could not stay there, and he had to move out. A particular note is and I really like this one. Is you can see where the spot fires have started to take hold. And I think this is a fire engine racing to try to protect houses that are already engulfed. And these houses are about to be engulfed. So what happened? So my ADM wanted to put together a research team to study what were the environmental conditions that led to this event. Long story short, hot, dry, and windy, but really, really early, quite early. Most of the snowpack was gone. Sublimation deteriorated between March 27th to the 30th. That's remarkable. Warm temperatures, record 27.2 degrees on April 18th and May 3rd. Particular note, from 1,300 hours to 1,900 hours, the relative humidity was out or below 15%. And on the map here, I don't want to do that. Can I go back? Yep. So on the map, this is just the accumulated precipitation for April, and the Fort McMurray area, the area here was very, 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 very little precipitation. So April was a particularly dry, and it was an El Nino year. This is just the Oceanic Nino Index for December. And you can see in 1998, the last time we had a very strong El Nino, we got our butt kicked as well, 97, 98. So the December is an interesting signal, but it was an El Nino year. So what happened? We had A fire started on April 29th here. Another fire started April 30th. And then on May 1st, this fire started and this fire started. So these three fires here are inside the city of Fort McMurray, but it's not called a city, it's actually an urban service area. So this fire starts, and this is the Horse River fire. And they started, this fire started a little bit later than this one, but still on May 1st in the late afternoon. So here you can see an image of both of those fires. The one fire that's really close to 100 meters from structures, and then this is the Horse River fire. And so this is on Sunday, May 1st at 2016. So you can see the Horse River fire is already, it's going pretty good. So I'm going to just show you a quick sequence. I'll go through this quickly. The smoke was discovered by Rotary Patrol on Sunday, May 1st, 2016 at 16:03 hours. It was burning in grass under a high-power transmission line, confirmed as a wildfire at 16:06, and it shortly spread into the trees, 16:10 hours, and reached 2 hectares in size at 16:33. So this is the start of the fire, and I'm just going to whip through this pretty quickly. So May 1st at 16:47 hours, 17:30 hours, it crosses the Horse River. You can see there's a little spot. And then at 18:41, it's 60 hectares in size, and that's the picture that I showed you earlier. And it doubles in size over the next hour, and it's burning overnight. May 1st, same day, 18:35 hours, 19:30 hours, 20:47 hours, and then on May 2nd, in the morning, 1100 hours, it's 500 hectares in size at 0903, but it basically doubles in size at 1700 hours. And then on May 2nd, just after 8 o'clock, it's 2,656 hectares in size, and it's reached the Athabasca River. That's a big river. It spots across the river during the evening. And then on May 3rd, this is when the fire entered into the community, and it entered on 3 fronts. It crossed again the Athabasca at the golf course, and then with the winds, it came into the south end. You'll see that the community is really spread out. It's a kind of linear, and that's because of the riparian systems, the confluence of the Athabasca River and the Clearwater River. I'm going through this pretty quick, but I have to. So May 3rd was the critical day, because the evacuation, the full mandatory evacuation order was issued for Fort McMurray at 18:20 hours. And the spread in yellow here that you can see was a result of these, this is basically an upper ridge and pretty strong southwest winds. Mike will go into that in a little bit more detail. So there's significant structures lost on this fire, particularly Abasand and Beacon Hill communities, Timberley as well. But there were other areas that were also impacted: Anzac, Draper, Separate Creek, and there was one oil sands camp that was lost, Black Sand. So on May 4th, this is the extent of the fire. It's continuing to grow. By then, the community is fully evacuated. And then, with the frontal passage, this fire takes off big time. So from the green, noon to, from May 4th noon till May 5th to 4 o'clock, it takes about a 40-kilometer, just over a 40-kilometer run. That's pretty significant, and I'll explain the reasons for that. This is the Beers image, but I just wanted to show this because of the, look at the time, 03:56, so this is at night. So it's burning through the night, and it's amazing. You can actually just, there's phenomenal activity. There are the oil sands that were of concern. This is the extent of the fire, May 5th, at 1600 hours. That's actually the containment. This is the final containment side that you're seeing. So what happened, really quickly, what you see here are just a blow up of these fires on the map, 1940, 41, 42 fires here, but there's a big white area where there haven't been any fires since 1931, and that really contributed to the fuel, the fire behavior in particular, spruce budworm infested, ongoing spruce budworm infestations, particularly along the river corridors. So this is a map of the spruce budworm infestations. Again, no surprise, they're following the river systems, 1987 to 2005. But here you can see the worst years were 2008, 2009, 2010, and particularly along the Clearwater. So that really contributed to the fire behavior and the really big runs that were taken. The fuel type, it's a boron mixed wood. So it's basically everything from pure aspen stands, mixed wood stands, jack pine, black spruce, larch, and lots of wetlands. The topography was a factor, particularly where on the riparian slopes where they were aligned with the wind. It actually really surprised me when I went up there on May 8th. Quite strong. So we had a research team. We called ourselves a rapid response research team, and we had Amber Unger and Kevin Roper, our fuel inventory program, working at Edmonton, Dan Thompson, who's here, and Mike Watton, and a PhD student with Dave Mortel, Tom Schick. So and myself, and we went up there, and we were asked to do some quick research, some quick fuel sampling before it rained, and we didn't know when it was going to rain, so we went up there on May 8th. And our ADM, Bruce Mayer, wanted us just to look at the environmental conditions that contributed to this event. This is what we saw when we drove into McMurray on May 8th. This was, and this wasn't the only high road cumulus that we saw. It was there were a number of them. So we did lots of sampling. We sampled the litter, the duff, aspen buds. We heard stories that the aspen was crowning and the aspen was really contributing. We did the foliar moisture. Quite amazing, actually. There was a strong spruce component in the aspen, and that was a big factor, contributing to the fire going into a community. Spring dip, we were in our spring dip. This is basically showing roughly when the spring dip happens. It's actually high, or this is from Turner and Austin a few years back. But when we actually sampled the sample, we found that the spruce were around 85. So we were in the spring dip, and that was certainly a contributing factor. So the contained size of this fire, 566,188 hectares. There were a couple of days that were particularly worrisome, May 16th and the 17th, when the fire was taking more of a northern run. Here you see the Beers satellite. Active areas are outlined in red, and again, some pretty significant column development. And on the forecast for May 17th, put out by the Canadian Wildland Fire Information System, was showing lots of red. So sure enough, on pretty amazing smoke column that was generated and came into Saskatchewan and all the way down through Manitoba. Regeneration is quite amazing. This was the aspen growth is quite spectacular, and I just wanted to conclude. We've expanded our research team from that rapid response research team, and we had a research workshop on August 25th, and we looked at what research should we be doing to get a better understanding of what happened on this particular fire. And We've listed 25 research projects that we're going to be working on. We divided that list into short-term and long-term projects. And we're looking at everything from wind modeling, burn severity mapping, just a number of initiatives where we can just get a better understanding of what really happened. So with that, the 2011 Slave Lake, 2016 Horse River wildfires were not one-offs. The theme of this conference is resilience. Yes, we need to build and sustain resilient communities. It's a shared responsibility. And to some extent requires recognition of the limits to wildfire suppression.